What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, institutional investing, and Pokemon. We're going to start with Bitcoin because it is one of the greatest things that has ever been invented, and it's changed a lot of people's lives. It hasn't changed my life completely, but it's helped me a lot along the way. And the thing that I learned about Bitcoin, which is supply and demand, which is what Pokemon investors love, is that there's only 21 million Bitcoin in existence. You have to know that. So every time I buy 25, 50, $100 a week, that comes off the market forever, and it's going to go to my kids. So there is an audit trail that you can follow, and that is 100% accurate. And it is on a ledger, and it is legitimate. And people have problem with change because the technology is peer-to-peer, and it's very fast. And what it does is it cuts out the middleman. And we have yet to even touch what Bitcoin or XRP, as you can see here, that I've been buying, for 5 or 6 years. You can see some right up here. What they can do as far as technology goes when younger generations or other people accept what it is. As it relates to Pokemon, the reason Bitcoin investors and Pokemon investors live on the same plane is because of the supply and demand. Okay, we know as Pokemon investors in the Pokemon life cycle that each set is finite, meaning they will only print it for a certain amount of time, and then when it goes out of print, it should naturally go up from people opening it, storing it in their closet, and that has become something that YouTube has taught everybody, and it's why a lot of people are hoarding product now. The difference is that Pokemon at any time can reprint a set. They won't do it because they will ruin the product, the collectible. But if they came out tomorrow and said, hey, we're printing Brilliant Stars into the ground and we're going to leave it up for a week and you can order as much as you want, a set that's 3, 4 years old, it would cause a very big problem in the Pokemon community. And that is something Pokemon can do. They won't do it. I don't think they'll ever do it, but it is something they can do. Now, as far as institutional investing goes, I've been hearing a lot of talk about ETFs or institutional investment, and I can assure you that that will be very difficult to do because if they wanted to build an ETF, they would have to mail out prospectuses, they would have to store the product in a warehouse, and they would have to keep inventory on it, saying, I have this much of this set, this much of this product. So in order to back it, that's not going to happen. It would be too much time, and it's too unregulated, and nobody really knows how many cards Pokemon is printing or who's buying it. But institutional money is coming into this space. And as the supply continues to grow and the demand grows and bigger money comes into the hobby, it may not change what's going on in the marketplace. Because if they're upping the printing by 10% and there's people with even more money coming in, the market may not change for a while. It just is what it is. And there's really nothing else we can do about it. The differences between Bitcoin and Pokemon cards is one is finite and one is temporarily finite and goes through a cycle. So again, there are 8 billion people in the world and there's only 21 million Bitcoin. So I always choose to take some profits and buy more Bitcoin as much as I can because there's only 21 million. And we have adopted a scenario where it's now being able to be held in IRAs. It's being more acceptable worldwide. It's been around for almost 20 years, and it's well accepted that people do want to own it. And there are forecasts coming out that by the year 2040, it could be, 5 million a coin, 10 million a coin, because as institutional money starts buying it up and hoarding it in the billions and trillions of dollars, and they don't sell it, it should move up faster. Now, we will see a crash eventually in the Pokemon market and the Bitcoin market, but we don't know when. So the best case to do is average into whatever you're averaging into and not to overspend, and don't invest anything you can't afford to lose. You don't want to invest in Pokemon cards or buy Pokemon cards, which is, the last thing that I do, or Bitcoin. And then when it goes down, you need the money. You should only be investing money you can't afford to lose. That is the best case scenario for anything that's going on in the market for your plan, whether it's $5, $10, $100. Your money will compound over time, and that is the best situation for Similarities in the market are boom and bust. They both experience boom and bust cycles. And now you can see a lot of people are selling cryptocurrency, taking gains, and coming into other markets, whether it be art, collectibles, Pokemon cards. They run on the same cycle because of the risk and reward and the demand that they have. The thing about Pokemon cards is that they give us nostalgia, that it's important to know that it's important to us because we grew up with it, that we get to hold the physical asset in our hand, that we own it and we love it, and that's great. Bitcoin is held on a ledger. Obviously, it just goes up and down, but I know that it'll never be any more of it. I know how much is lost, and that's why I continue to buy it. I continue to buy it for my kids. I started buying it in 2016. I bought my first coin at $486, and that helped me pay off my student loans. Literally, like 2 years later, it was 12 or 13,000, and that's when I started buying it. Um, to be honest, guys, you really have to educate yourself on all things, whether it be the S&P 500, Pokemon cards, or Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is the thing that I believe will change a lot of people's lives. And it's not my suggestion that you buy it, but you educate yourself on it. And if it's for you, allocate a small portion of your portfolio to it. Mine is less than 5%. I still treat it as a very risky asset. But again, I know that there's only 21 million Bitcoin. So that's why I buy it. I want you guys to understand that Bitcoin and Pokemon follow high growth cycles. So when they go up and when they go down, they will greatly outperform or underperform the balance of your portfolio, if that's the case. And I've heard this statement a lot, and I've seen it commented a lot, which is that everyone thinks they're the Warren Buffett of Pokemon. Um, I've seen that comment multiple times on multiple people's videos from collectors who are angry that they can't get product. And to those people, I would say it's not that we're the Warren Buffett of Pokemon. It's that we've learned what Warren Buffett did to achieve what he achieved, which is ignoring the market, ignoring YouTube. All these videos of people saying the market's going up, the market's going down. Just be consistent and buy all the sets and average into the hobby with the money you can average into. Because when you watch CNBC or you watch YouTube videos of people's opinions, because that's what they will make you question yourself. They will make you make an emotional decision. There's reprints coming. This card's going up. I saw this card go down. And on the back end of that, you don't know if they're holding the card. I could come on YouTube right now and say, I think the Pikachu VMAX from Lost Origin is going to pump. And I could have 30 of them back here. And if you don't think that YouTubers are doing that, if you don't think YouTubers are using the gains that they're making in the market to manipulate the market, you're absolutely wrong, because they are doing that. There are a lot of people making a lot of money right now, and that's okay. I said it in my last video. I just got my Mega Evolutions case, and I made a contact. He paid $96 wholesale for that box and sold it to me for $275. So if we round the numbers up 100 to 300 and somebody gets 500 boxes, they're going to make 100,000 in profit just on the booster boxes, not counting the ETBs, not counting the ancillary products, not counting the tins, the packs, or whatever is going on for what they're selling. They could easily take 25,000, 30,000, go to eBay, buy up Temporal Forces. And there's multiple stores and multiple people doing that. Or if they feel something's undervalued, or if they see a small amount on eBay on the secondary market. It doesn't mean that that's all that's out there. It just means that we have a lot of product in storage units, people have it in houses, and people see eBay and like, that's how many's left. There's card shows all over the country. I've been to a few card shows. There's boxes everywhere. It will be much easier to get modern sets 10 years from now that are coming out than it was 10 years ago now that are hard to find. And that's something we need to talk about in a future video to see, will the sets coming out now outperform? And I still think they will, because there's so many boxes getting ripped open. It's crazy to watch. So guys, just some quick tips about the correlation of why Bitcoin and Pokemon are correlated. They're risky, high growth assets. They have a lot of the same capabilities. But most importantly, we understand supply and demand. And I've said it a few times now. The YouTubers, the set it and forget it crowd, have educated so many people on how they made their money and the viewers on the way up, that there's a lot of people just taking product off the market and hoarding it. I can't open the case that I have at 275 a box. I'll just buy the card I want if I want it, or I'll just wait till the next set or see what happens. Um, but it just, everyone has the information now. And to all the people out there saying that it's going to crash and the market's going down, I will tell you that the public is much more educated. And I don't know how much it's going to crash. Maybe it comes back down to 150, 140, but I think there's going to be a lot of money, including myself, coming in because we have it to buy those dips on the way down. And I don't think it ever reaches $100 a box. The same thing happened with Bitcoin. The same thing happened with GameStop. People learn along the way because we all have the information at our tips now in our pocket. We all have the information if we stop scrolling through phones and educate ourselves. And you can do good with that information and you can learn and teach yourself. That's all I got for today's video, guys. ShopAPKcollectibles.com. We have ancillary products, bundles, tins, and ETBs going up. All booster boxes for English will be halted at the end of the week. I appreciate you truly. I'll see you in the next video.